So this is just some help in retiming this animation. I'm going to select all of the controls. I turn all objects off and turn on curves and then select all those controls. So the first thing I wanted to show is, let's just play this for a minute. What do we have for our preferences here? Oh, it's on play every frame. Let me go to real time so I can get the actual pacing of this. Here we go. Okay, so let's say, suppose we think that this head turning is too quick. So, by the way, just to make it easier to look at, I'm going to zoom in on this area here. So, like, let's say from, there to there. Let's suppose you want to slow that down. Now, the first thing is, it's very important that all your controls are selected. If all your controls are not selected, it will mess this whole thing up. And because it's easy to accidentally not select controls, I highly recommend that you be sure to save often and save a lot of versions. So anyways, so if I want this to be slower, the easiest thing to do is right mouse click, what is it, keys, add in between, and see that it just pushes everything out one. And also I can go do that again with the right mouse click, or I can hit the G key, and G will just repeat the last function. See how I'm just adding more space in there? Okay, so now that's slower. And then let's say in another example, so he puts his mouth to his lips. And let's say we want to, you do have a hold there, but it's kind of short. So again, I can add in between, G, 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 and now that's longer. Although it still looks a little quick to me. Keys, add in between, G, 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 G. Okay. Okay. So, and then here, maybe if I want to make it a slightly moving hold, I might grab a couple of these controls, kind of, lean them in a bit, maybe adjust the head a little bit, just some small movements to kind of keep it alive during that hold. Wait, what happened to those? Oh, I didn't have auto keyframe on. So yeah, with auto keyframe on, I can just adjust these, and I'm always going to try and do it on a keyframe if I can. Is that the wrong thing? Maybe like sort of moving just a little bit here. Okay. I could be even more subtle than that, but just keeping the move alive. Maybe straighten out his arm a little bit. On that. Anyway, so I slowed that down. I added made it more of a moving hold. And then you were asking about the dope sheet, so let's take a look at that. Panel dope sheet, and let us zoom in. Too much? Okay. Oh, I don't have all the stuff selected anymore. Very important. Oops. So yeah, like if I wanted to move all of these or some of these, it should work. So W for move, and maybe that's what you didn't do. And then middle mouse drag. So it's W for move, and then middle mouse drag, and they should move. Although, why didn't it select those guys? That's weird. I'm not sure. It feels like it's not selecting some of those keyframes. Does it want me to be in select? Okay, now it's acting weird for me. To truth be told, I don't use this that much. Yeah, so like why is it leaving those behind? Like what's, I don't know. It's an awful lot to be moving around. I mean, the other thing I would say too is, I guess the reason I don't use the dope sheet so much is that I can pretty much do all that same stuff on the timeline. Like if I wanted to, maybe I'll make this a little longer. You know, you can grab like ranges of frames on the timeline by holding down shift and clicking and dragging, and then you can move those around just right there, which that's why, like I said, I don't use the dope sheet that much, to be honest. I can also grab this whole range, shift, click and drag, and I can drag by the end and I can scale it. Like if I wanted to slow the whole thing down or speed the whole thing up, I can do that as well. So yeah, the dope sheet is acting a little funny for me too, to be honest. But yeah, making sure you're selecting it, hitting W for move, and using the middle mouse button. I suspect when you weren't able to move the stuff, you either hadn't hit the move button or weren't using the middle mouse button. So yeah, I hope this helps a little bit, and yeah, let me know how it goes.